But you aren't necessarily going to be able to find any either monetary value or enjoyment um, that is going to equate to something that is rewarding, then perhaps something like this task may be something you should consider delegating, not necessarily right now, but maybe in the near future. Okay. So what is an example of that? Because, that's a little bit abstract, right? If I describe it that way. But for example, there are people who actually enjoy, folding their laundry, and it's because, like it smells so good when it comes out of the dryer. It's warm, it's cozy. It could be something that you really enjoy. But when you're folding laundry, if you are someone that actually say makes, a good amount of money with your time on an hourly rate, folding laundry is an enjoyable task, but it really isn't going to say bring your financial goals to the next level or bring your joy to the next level in terms of, say, relationships with your kids and your family, unless you're doing like the folding of the laundry together, which then, that's a story in itself for another time. But, how many children will actually sit there and fold a couple batches of laundry every single week with you, right? Like it would be nice. Don't get me wrong. I think that would be great. And if you could empower them to do that, that's wonderful. I have found that to be a little bit challenging with my young kids. So I definitely find that folding laundry is not on my list of with the red stars. I don't mind it, but I certainly wouldn't want to do it all the time. So those are the tasks that I want you to kind of consider whether, is it costing you something to do these tasks? Okay. And finally, last but not least, when you're delegating, we're obviously going to be thinking about, perhaps is there something that you could be giving to someone you hire to do those tasks for you for obviously less than you are being paid on an hourly basis. So obviously number 5 is sort of like, I guess it depends on what stage you are in your life, but that's something to consider, right? If you are making a good amount of money and you've got a lot of things going on your plate, maybe it's time to consider, outsourcing some of those tasks that are fairly time consuming. Because, in our day-to-day lives, we definitely have to make food, right? So 3 meals a day. We definitely have to keep our clothes washed and dried and pressed, and that in itself probably takes a couple of days out of the week, right? And of course, if we are I guess let me give an example. Like if you are yourself somebody that does not speak multiple languages, for example. So say your kids are learning French in school and you speak French yourself, but you don't have the time or the energy to actually teach your kids, their homework when they come home. This could be actually something that you might consider hiring a French tutor to actually, be able to kind of go over the material with your kids as a great review. So on my list, however, I speak French, so I actually love teaching my kids when I have time. So I'm not at the point right now where I'd be like, oh, I think I'm going to hire a French tutor for them. So it's like, you kind of have to determine where you are in terms of your comfort level. But to consider delegating, it is going to then free up a lot more time in your day. And I find that freeing up time in my day is one of the biggest challenges I've had over the past, maybe 2 decades. It's like one of the hardest things for me to have, I guess, encountered, because I just find it to be a very foreign concept. I'm just one of those people that loves to do everything themselves. I'm a doer, I just do it, and if I don't have the time, I will make the time, but it's not necessarily going to be, the best case scenario, because I do find myself, overly stuffing my plate full of things to do. And, I think at the, age that I'm at and the stage that I'm at in my life, it's probably best for me to also have some time to be a little bit more creative, to have some quiet time so that I can think about, where it is that I want to go, in terms of, my planning for, my business, my family, the future. What are some of the things that I want to do for my community, for my people? So it really is important, to clear our plates as much as possible so that we can make time for the more important thinking time per se, right? So if we can empower those around us to take responsibility and feel more, ready to take on ownership of their lives and also be kind of in partnership with us, then we ourselves are going to also benefit from that. And the thing is, when we empower others, not only is it great for us, but it instills in them that we that encouragement, that we feel that, we are trusting them with, important things that need to get done. And I think it is sort of like a two-way street. If we extend our trust, they will also in turn trust us more as well, right? So, empowerment is a really actually broad, umbrella, concept that I think we'll also touch upon when we revisit some of these principles that we've talked about, because there are so many different angles that we can take on it. And, one episode is not going to do it justice, but, I wanted to at least just kind of cover one aspect of it so that we can, start applying this principle. If anything that I've done for you guys this episode is to plant the seed of thinking about empowerment. Empowerment is one of those concepts. Actually, it's one of the biggest things for me in my life. Like, maybe because of my background, maybe if all the experiences that I have, weathered, I feel that if I can empower someone, to be a better version of themselves, then I think I would have done what I have come here to do, I certainly hope that, you will consider, empowering someone today in your lives. All right, Healthy Wisdomers, it has been a pleasure to share another episode with you guys. And I want to thank you all for listening and continuing to support us on this journey. Please take a minute to subscribe, follow, and rate this episode so that we can share more of this wisdom and invite people to join us on this journey. This is the Healthy Wisdom series with Dr. Jen Chen. I'll catch you guys next week.